Hello everyone. Today's topic is Introduction to Hacking. So basically, what is hacking? Hacking refers to an array of activities which are done to intrude into someone else's personal information space so as to use it for malicious, unwanted purposes. Hacking is a term used to refer to activities aimed at exploiting security flaws to obtain critical information or gaining access to secured network. The one who does hacking is known as a hacker. He does various things which we will be discussing in the following presentation to get your personal information with your knowledge or without your knowledge. He can also hack into a secured network like your bank's website, and using those security flaws he can even transfer your money, so there is a chance of financial loss. Let's discuss about it in the following presentation so that we know what is basically hacking, and you can have a brief idea what hacking is. Moving on to the next slide. During the course of time, there have been many hacking incidents. Some of the famous hacking incidents are: in 1980, 414 people were arrested from two hacker groups. In 1990, Microsoft operating system Windows NT was hacked. In 2001, shopping websites like eBay, Yahoo, CNN, Amazon, and many others, they had denial of service attack, that is a DOS attack, and they're basically their computers or their servers hung and wouldn't work. In 2007, there was nearly a loss of $1 million, which was stolen over a period of 3 months from 250 customers' account, and this was considered as the biggest ever hacking hit the financial industry. This was considered as the biggest ever financial bank hit. This was considered as the biggest ever hack which has hit a bank. Moving on to the next slide. These are some of the famous hackers, the notorious one which have done the hacking which I previously mentioned. Some are even serving jail time. Moving on to the next slide. Before we know the hackers, how they work, we should understand what's their psychology, what's their attitude. The world is full of fascinating problems waiting to be solved. Being a hacker is lots of fun, but this kind of fun requires lots of effort, and the efforts requires motivation. To be a hacker, you need to get a basic thrill of solving problem. You need to be motivated to solve these problems. You need to sharpen your skills and exercise your intelligence. The moral duty of each hacker is considering other hackers' time as important. So you need to do is share information, solve the problems, and then give the solution so that the other hackers don't need to work on it again. Sometimes the hackers do this just for the sake of fun. Hackers basically are against authority. They try to gain their way. They have a fascination to go against an authority and do their own way. Thus, for becoming a hacker, you need motivation, intelligence, practice, dedication, and hard work. For this, you require basic hacking skills. You need to learn few computer languages. If you don't know any computer language, then you can't do hacking. What you can do is get a free copy of Linux or an open source Unix and install it on your personal computer, laptop, run it. You can learn how to use World Wide Web, that is www, or even write HTML. This can be interesting and useful when you become an hacker. So now we must know, when you start hacking, what are the things you should keep in mind. You should make sure that the victim will never find out who really you are. You can do is hide your computer IP by using proxy server. You can also do is sign up for an dial-up connection which has variable IP address. If you are smart, you will use fake name and address. When hacking, you should never leave a trace of your hacking attempt. You should always clear your log files and make sure you're never monitored. So this is basically what you should always keep in mind if you want to become a good hacker. There is also a word of caution. Organizations like FBI, CIA, police, they will always find you no matter what you do. It might sometimes take time, but they will still find you. So beware. Moving on to the next slide, we should know some fundamentals of computer like an IP address. IP address, it's an unique number which is assigned to you or your computer, and it is used as a basic identity on the network. IP address is 32-bit address which is divided into 4 fields of 8 bits each. All data sent or received by your system will be addressed using the IP address. And an attacker first step is to find out the IP address of the target system. So basically the IP address is really important in hacking. Moving on to the next slide, how to find out an IP address. There are many ways where an hacker can use wherein an hacker can use and find out your IP address. He can use instant messaging software like Gmail, MSN, or through internet relay chat, or through websites, or through email headers. All of these topics we'll discuss it in the following presentation. Let's see how an hacker finds an IP address via instant messenger. Whenever you chat on Yahoo, MSN, there always exists an indirect connection between your system and the friend system. Your system directly sends the data to chat server, then the chat server sends the data to the friend system, and if you want to receive a reply, the friend system sends the data to chat server, then the chat server sends the data to your system back. Thus, in this case, you will have to establish a direct connection with the friend's computer. Thus, you need to establish a direct connection with your friend's computer by either sending him a file or using a call feature. Moving on to the next slide, we will be seeing how this can be avoided. You can do is not accept any file transfer or calls from unknown people. You can do is log in through an proxy server. What happens in the proxy server is your system sends the data to proxy server, which connects to the chat server, and then the chat server sends the data to the friend system. So basically, some good proxy servers are Wingate and Squid, depending on the platforms you use. Moving on to the next slide. How does an hacker find an IP address via your website? There are simple Java apps or applets or some Java code which can be used by any website which creates and log of IP addresses of all the visitors. So what you can do is you can serve the internet through proxy server. One of the famous proxy servers are www.anonymizer.com. Moving on to the next slide, how does an hacker find the IP address via email header? Below is an pictorial representation wherein you can see that the message ID is some number, and then it is written as qmail@hotmail.com. That's your email address. Along with it, it's received from an IP address to hotmail.com. That's your IP address. So it's very easy to find out your IP address via email header. So let's see what are the dangers and concern if any hacker knows your IP address. You can be a victim of the following attacks: DOS attacks, that is denial of service attack. You can be disconnected from the internet. You can have Trojan horse problem with the IP address at the hacker's hand. He can find out where exactly you are located, which region you belong, or even sometimes your home address or the address where the computer is located.